It's June Dairy Month, and I've got a special guest that knows quite a bit about June Dairy Month. So, special guest, who are you anyway?
Well, Sarah, my name is Rebecca Paskiewicz, and I'm currently serving as the 65th Princess K of the Milky Way.
I feel so lucky to have you in my kitchen.
I'm excited to be here.
So what does it take to be Princess K of the Milky Way?
Well, there are a number of eligibility requirements or allotments, ranging from raising different dairy heifers to showing heifers in 4-H and even working on a farm.
Well, let's get started with some delicious June Dairy Month recipes. So I figure before you share your excellent dairy recipe that you brought for Hastings today, I would show you two of my favorites.
Lovely.
And because it is June and the weather is getting nice outside, we're gonna keep it kind of like a light lunch that we're gonna work our way through today. So we're gonna start with a Waldorf salad. Have you ever had a Waldorf salad?
I have not.
Oh, well, you are in for a treat. So we have lemon yogurt. See, she'll like it because it's yogurt.
Yes.
Do you have like a favorite flavor of yogurt?
Personally, my favorite is salted caramel and honey.
Oh wow,
yeah.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Well, to our lemon yogurt, we have 10 ounces in there. We're gonna add 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, and I'm gonna whisk to combine this. And this is basically it to make our dressing, so it's a super simple salad dressing. And so in that bowl for you, I have 4 apples. I've got 2 red apples and 2 green, and I'm gonna ask you to put those into bite-sized pieces.
All right.
And then what I'm gonna do while Becca works on cutting your apples is I have 2 stalks of celery that I'm gonna also cut into bite-sized pieces. And as we cut up these pieces, we can just drop them into our salad dressing. We don't have to worry about putting them all in at once. So we're just gonna work on adding those in. So with it being June, Miss Becca.
Yeah.
So what's this whole June Dairy Month thing?
June Dairy Month is my favorite time of year. It's an entire month dedicated to dairy in not only foods, but our farmers as well.
Nice.
So Princess K has a wide variety of activities that she gets to go to, ranging from breakfast on the farms to some media interviews, hanging out at libraries with students, and going to different community events.
So you're really taking that title of Dairy Ambassador to the extreme during June.
It is. It's our best time to advocate for our food and for our farmers.
Gotcha. And so you said breakfast on the farm. So does that mean like you actually eat breakfast on a farm?
Yes, it does. And so breakfast on the farms are in a number of different counties here in Minnesota. So I'm sure there's one you could find nearby in your county. Whether it's a breakfast on the farm, a night on the farm, or even a picnic at the farm. Many farms serve breakfast with pancakes or even cheeseburgers for lunch. It's a great time to see the farm, tour, pet some cows, and of course eat some food. So
Gotcha. So if it's a family where maybe you're a little bit disconnected from where your food comes from, it's a nice way to kind of close that gap there.
It is. We love visiting with eaters of all backgrounds.
So I've already got my celery cut up because I have the easy chopping to do.
Yes.
So I'm also going to add in a half a cup of dried cranberries. To that, I'm then going to add in a half a cup of red onions. And with all of these things that we're putting in, we're kind of going to use the dried cranberries as our gauge. We don't want anything, well, that's a lie. Our apples are going to be a little bit bigger than that, but I want my onion pieces to be about the same size as those cranberries as well. Oh, look at you, fancy pants.
1 down, 3 to go.
There you go. So obviously we've cored our apples, so we don't have that. And I'm just gonna start doing a gentle toss to start combining all of these pieces. What's really nice about this salad is you've got a lot of variety in here. And that's kind of fair to say about a lot of things dairy. There's a lot of variety with dairy.
There are.
And you said you get to talk about animals and you also get to talk about dairy foods, right? With being Princess K? So with foods and with talking about cattle, what do you think are kind of one of those things that surprises people maybe with farms or with dairy foods?
Yeah, you know, one thing I love sharing on all my school visits and community visits is that milk has 3 ingredients. It starts with the milk that comes straight from the cow, which already has naturally occurring vitamins and 9 essential nutrients. And then we fortify it with its own vitamins once again of vitamin A and D. So you're getting some power-packed nutrients in that glass of milk.
Nice. And so a lot of times when people go to the store, they have their favorites, so whether it's skim milk or 1% or 2% milk. Is it really like, what is that whole 1%, 2% skim? Where does that come from?
Yeah, the percentages and titles of milk refer down to the fat values within the milk.
Gotcha.
And so you, no matter what your dietary needs are, preferences in natural fats, or wanting a little lighter milk at dinner time, there's an option for everyone in the dairy aisle.
Gotcha. So it's not necessarily that one's more healthy than the other. It's just what you need to be healthy as a person?
That's exactly right. I have a cousin who needs to drink skim milk for a health condition that she has, but I myself really prefer 2% milk. Yes.
So then, in addition to all of this greatness, we also have some gorgonzola cheese that we're going to add in. Now, on my package of gorgonzola cheese, it says that this is a soft cheese.
Yeah.
So when you look in the dairy case, there's hard cheeses and soft cheeses. What's that all about?
Yeah. Cheeses come in a wide variety, and so there's always a good flavor to choose from, but when it comes down to hard versus soft cheeses, it's all about the process that goes into making the cheese. It depends on the number or the amount of lactose that is used in the cheese making. Now your harder cheeses are going to be more tolerable for your lactose intolerant friends, where your soft cheeses are gonna be more soft in texture, but also have a little bit more lactose in them.
Gotcha. So there's an option for you if you want to brave it and try some different things for those lactose concerns in Hastings.
Yes, exactly.
So we have right in here, we have 10 ounces, just like our 10 ounces of yogurt, 10 ounces of gorgonzola cheese, and we're going to start adding that because we want to start getting everything all nice and covered with our dressing. So we have all of our ingredients in here, and you know what's so great about this salad?
What?
We just stir, we combine, and then we chill, and it's all good to go.
It's that easy?
It is that easy. So while we combine this, get this chilling, we'll pop it into our fridge, and then we need a delicious sandwich to go with this.
Ooh.
So get ready, there's your teas. So we've got our salad chilling, and we were promised, or I promised you, that we were going to make a sandwich.
Yes.
So we are going to put a twist on a hot ham and cheese sandwich.
Ooh.
So here I have some apples, and since you're my guest, I won't make you do this because we're going to use a mandolin. Have you ever used a mandolin before?
I have not. I'm excited to see you do it.
So with this, I have my apples cored already, and we're going to go down and slice, and I have it right now on my largest slicing setting. And we're gonna get these really thin slices of apple. So I'm gonna slice these up right quick. And sometimes your mandolin will jam up, like, because I was talking and not being responsible. So mandolins are super sharp. They actually have a locking option to make sure people can't hurt themselves. They also have a guard, but for being extra safe while we're on TV, I'm not gonna even get my fingers close to this. I'm just gonna do one more pass with this. And then I'm going to switch to my next apple. And I'm just gonna come down again and go boop, boop.
Wow, it's almost like you've done this before.
Yes, it is almost like I've done this before. So I've got my apple slices, and normally you just need one apple, but we're being TV safe. So that's why we went with 2 here. So I've got my slices of apple. So now we're gonna start building our hot ham and cheese sandwiches, and we're gonna do these inside of pitas today. Oh. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab, we've got some Dijon mustard here. You could, if you wanted to, just squirt it out of your mustard bottle. But then we have ham and we have provolone cheese.
Oh, one of my favorites.
So it's a good melting cheese, or so I hear. So I'm gonna grab a plate and a knife, and I will pass you your knife. So we've got a workstation. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna open up our pitas, just like this, and we're gonna take some mustard and we're gonna spread it inside of our pita. Just so we've got a nice coating inside of the pita, and we want it on both sides, obviously, so you get all that good, delicious flavor in every bite. And then what I'm gonna start doing is I'm gonna kind of build my sandwich outside of my pita. And so I'm gonna set my pita to the side. I'm gonna start by taking 2 pieces of ham, and you can grab 2 as well, and I'm gonna overlap them by about half. And then what I have is I have sliced provolone cheese. I just bought it pre-sliced already, so I'm gonna put that in the middle, just like so. And then I'll give you an apple.
Thank you.
And I'll take an apple, and we're gonna take 2 apple slices, and you can see they're nice and sliced for us. And now we're gonna turn it into a little taco. And we're gonna fold it in half. And then we're just gonna pop that into our pita. Just like so. Nestle it in all nice, just like that. And if you want to, you could put more ham in there, you could put more cheese in there, which I'm sure you'd approve of.
I would. Nothing wrong with 2 slices.
And then we're just gonna lay that on our baking tray, and that's our hot ham and cheese. That's it. That's all we have to do.
Wow, simple.
And so I usually, because I think these are delicious, I usually have 2 for myself. So we're gonna make enough for 4 people to enjoy pitas today.
All right.
So you said that people that are involved in Princess K of the Milky Way can live on a farm, they can work on a farm. What's kind of your backstory for how you got involved with all this?
Yeah, you know, I think my story is a little bit more unique this time, where I didn't grow up with dairy outside my front door. It was actually down the road at my uncle's farm.
Okay.
And so I helped feed calves from a young age and watched Grandpa work with his boys on the farm, learning a lot of showmanship skills from Grandpa and all of my cousins along the way.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And so is it like one of those big giant farms that sometimes you hear about? Is it, would you call it like a small time farm, medium? What does your farm kind of story look like?
Yeah, you know, I think farms are hard to define by size, but the farm I grew up on, I'd say, was a medium size, about 240 cows.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Now I work on a farm that's a little bit bigger than that, but what I've learned throughout my year as Princess K is that regardless of the size of the farm, one thing remains the same, and that's the care that farmers have for their animals and their land.
So we have our pita pockets all filled up.
We do.
We're gonna put them in a 350-degree oven until the cheese gets nice and melty. And now I am in for a treat. On top of that melty cheese, I get to learn a recipe from you.
That you do.
So I've gotten to share 2 of my favorite dairy recipes with you, but now I get to learn about one of yours. So what are we gonna make?
Well, today, Sarah, we're gonna make oatmeal cake, a famous family recipe that stems back to my dairy farmer grandpa, Bob.
Really? So is it one of those recipes where he found it and made it his own, or did he totally come up with this?
He found it and made it his own. I'm pretty sure it stemmed from an old church cookbook many years ago, but now in our new church cookbook, it says Bob Paskew. It's rather than the prior owner.
Oh, so. Wow, that's pretty good when you bump somebody from a church cookbook.
Oh, and he could do it.
So oatmeal cake, so I'm guessing we're starting with oatmeal?
We are, so you can go ahead and take the oatmeal.
All right. So we have 1 cup of oatmeal that, like you said, has been soaking for 20 minutes in 1 1/4 cup of boiling water. So we're gonna start by adding that into our mixture. Oh my gosh, this looks delicious already. So then it looks like we've got all kinds of stuff coming our way.
Why not start with the dairy, correct?
Ooh, so we've got a stick of butter, or 1/2 cup of butter.
2 eggs.
2 eggs. Thank you for pre-cracking them for me. Now we don't have to worry about eggshells in there. Whew. So then we're gonna take a moment and we're gonna mix those together. All right, so does that get the Princess K stamp of approval?
I believe so, Sarah. I think we're good.
So what should we add next?
Well, you know, dessert wouldn't be the same without sugar.
All right, so we have 1 cup of sugar. So is this one of those cakes where you save it for special occasions, or is it like a every Saturday we have to make this cake?
I wish it was an every Saturday occasion. However, Grandpa's birthday was always at the same time of year, of course, and so it was a one-time year occasion.
Gotcha.
Here's the flour.
All right, so we're gonna add 1 1/3 cup of flour.
And my favorite, brown sugar.
All right, 1 cup of brown sugar. And so is this, because you are a dairy princess, is this a cake where you have it by yourself and there's all that buttery dairy goodness in it, or is this like a you need ice cream with it kind of cake?
Ooh, you can do it either way. However, ice cream always levels out the sweetness.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And so with butter in this and then you got your ice cream, that's 2 servings of dairy. And so what's like the best amount of dairy you should have in your diet to be really great and a healthy person?
Midwest Dairy suggests that we get 3 servings of dairy in our diet a day.
Well,
so
we are definitely covering that with our lunch and our dessert today.
We are. Some cinnamon.
Ooh, that kick with that 1 teaspoon of cinnamon.
Some vanilla.
Oh, it's not a good cake without some vanilla.
It isn't.
So we have a teaspoon of vanilla.
And baking soda.
All right, and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. So let's get that all mixed together. So we have it beautifully mixed, and I bet you're well versed in adding it to a cake pan.
I've had a few in my day.
And so this must be obviously one of your favorite family recipes. But do you have like any tips or tricks on where people can go to find more dairy recipes anywhere?
Yeah, you know, I can't get enough of dairy goodness, especially in June Dairy Month, Sarah. One of my favorite places to go for recipes is MidwestDairy.com.
All right.
MidwestDairy.com has a number of varieties of recipes, from appetizers to main dishes, snacks, and even desserts.
So we're just adding our cake batter into this prepared pan, and then what we're going to do is we are going to put it into that 350-degree oven. And am I remembering your family secret recipe with, oh, it's not really a secret anymore. Is it a half hour, correct?
Half an hour.
All right, so we're going to pop this in for a half an hour, and then we've got a delicious topping that's got even more dairy coming your way. So our cake's cooling out of the oven, and I'm excited because it already smells delicious.
Yes.
And I'm also excited because it looks like we have 2 more dairy foods. What goes into our topping for our cake?
Yeah, so we start with heavy whipping cream, as well as some butter.
Gotcha. So this whipping cream you get like just out of the refrigerator case, but I know that they sell another one that comes in like a plastic tub that's already whipped up. Is there a difference between the stuff without the air already mixed in versus what you'd get in that plastic container?
There is a significant difference, actually. The heavy whipping cream we're using today contains dairy, which we like, especially for June Dairy Month. However, the stuff that we can find in the freezer section and in that refrigerated aisle does not contain dairy, interestingly enough.
Oh, got it. So definitely, I'm going to start looking for this every time I go.
Yes.
So it looks like we've got a 1/4 cup of butter and a 1/4 cup of that whipping cream. So let's start combining those together in our mixer. So I've got my whipping cream and butter combined, just like you asked. But it looks like there's still a little bit more that we need. So what else do we need to add?
All right, in addition to the dairy goodness, we have some coconut.
All right, 1 cup of coconut going on in.
As well as some brown sugar once again.
All right, 1 more cup of brown sugar. I can tell it's your favorite kind of sugar. It's in here twice. All right, so does this meet Princess K's approval?
Definitely.
All right, so I'm guessing we just plop it on and spread it out? All right.
Looks great.
So I just work on spreading this out then?
You do, and once we get an even layer across the cake, we will place it back in the oven under the broiler for 2 to 3 minutes, and just get that nice caramelized finish across the oatmeal cake.
Gotcha. So I'll start spreading, we'll broil, and then we'll take a peek at a beautiful June Dairy Month lunch. We've got a great spread in front of us for our June Dairy Month feast. We have our Waldorf salad that I've topped with some toasted pecans in there for an extra crunch. We don't want to put those on too early because they'll get soggy and nobody wants that. We also have our hot ham and cheese pitas with the apple twist in there. And then your world famous, it's now world famous.
World famous in Hastings for sure.
Princess K of the Milky Way is a world famous oatmeal cake. So as we move into June, July, August, I'm guessing you'll be finishing up your reign because it comes to a close when the state fair comes. And so if people think maybe you look familiar, is there any place they would have seen you last year at the state fair?
For sure, at the Dairy Bar in the Dairy Building. We are hanging out at the Dairy Goodness Bar each and every day. We are also a part of the parade at 2 o'clock each day, and so you can always find a princess or 2 or 3 at the corner of Judson and Underwood. You might even see them sculpted in butter in the butter booth.
So does that mean you have a butter sculpture of your likeness?
Yeah, you know, Becca's chilling down in my freezer right now. I have not seen her since the state fair.
Well, and I heard a rumor that those are really heavy too.
They are. They're 90 pounds when they start out with. We came home with 19 pounds of scraps.
Wow, you can make a lot of oatmeal cake with all that butter.
Good, a lot. Grandpa would be very impressed.
So remember, Hastings, the apron is optional, but the flavor isn't.
Is this when I interpretive dance behind the counter?
To.
Okay. Commercial break.